So here's the story. It was June 1998. I was traveling through the Rockies from Banff, Alberta to Vancouver, California. 4 hours into our trip, Paul's old Chevy Cheval broke down, and we coasted into the tourist overlook. After 20 minutes of trying to start it, we realized we would need to hitchhike or flag down someone. We were really high up, parallel to the glacier field that was right across the small valley from the overlook. We lit up cigarettes and were pondering what to do as the night closed in, and no cars or trucks had come by. In the valley, between us and the glacier field, I spotted a bear making its way up the slope toward the glacier field. I pointed him out to Paul, and we watched it work its way through the trees. As it came into the sunlight, spots amidst the tree, it became apparent it wasn't a bear. It was walking on 2 feet, and his arms were swinging. We thought maybe it was a trapper wearing his furs, as he was obviously heading to the lip of the glacier field. Then it became apparent that the man was huge. Definitely not a bear, but also insanely muscled and covered in the same brown-colored grizzly hair. He was also making massively quick work of climbing up the slope, much faster than any person, and that he must be very tall. Also, he had to duck under the lower branches of the trees, which tended to start much higher up the tree. Also, as he got higher, closer to our viewpoint, we could see more detail. As this happened, it started to dawn on us what this person creature might be, and I remember thinking clearly, please, for the love of God, let it not be Bigfoot. There's an area before the ice begins, where the trees stop and it's just rocks. We watched it walk up that, and now could clearly see it was a massive hairy man wearing no clothes, had no backpack, etc. But also its body was strikingly different than ours. Really long arms that made it from our angle feel like 4 same-size limbs. Its trapezoid muscles were overdeveloped, so there wasn't much of a neck. The head seemed to go straight into that muscle group. When it had climbed to the lip of the glacier, it paused and turned around looking directly at us. Now, it looked back at us, the way a deer or another animal does when it wants you to know it's aware of you. Just very still, watching. And also the sun was now setting, and so the whole glacier, which is a giant white reflective surface, was bouncing light clearly into him, his face and frame. So we could see him super clearly as he looked at us. His face is definitely ape-like, with a very wide nose and thick facial hair, but there was an air of human-like intelligence that it also projected. Satisfied, we were no threat, it turned, and began walking across the glacier field, disappearing into the Rocky Mountains. When we couldn't see him anymore, we thought about getting tracks, but to get up that slope would put us well into night, and the temperature drop at that elevation is breathtaking, even in summer. We eventually had a migrant worker stop and pick us up and take us the 9 hours to Vancouver. The whole time I thought of nothing but that creature, walking slowly over the glacier into the sunset. Like a movie shot, it was just so unbelievable, but it had happened, and no logic or anything else could change the validity of what we saw. We also never talked about it, because Bigfoot, right? And years later, when we saw each other, still neither one of us brought it up, but I'm sure it's all we were thinking about.